We're live. Hi, good afternoon to all who is out there. This is a Smart Conserver channel, and today we are talking about that power inverter. Um, Many persons have asked how they can eliminate or even reduce their reliance on the power company, and the reliance on the power company is dependent on what you can do. There is the power inverter we can use to help us to alleviate some of this, the electricity that we should pull from them. Now, to eliminate that, we can not eliminate. I wouldn't say eliminate because it would take too much out of your pocket, and I'll explain further. To help you reduce, sometimes we have things that we need to pull from them, but we can avoid plugging it in. So take, for instance, we're going to talk today about the inverter. All right. So what is the inverter? The inverter is a power electronic device that can be used to assist us to eliminate or reduce some of the reliance that we place on the grid. And the grid is where we pull our electricity from, and the power persons charge us based on what we pull from that grid. The power inverter is able to convert AC to DC. So it changes direct current to alternating current. It has many uses, and it can be used to power our household appliances. I'm not thinking about on a commercial basis. I'm thinking about in the homes. It can be used to power our household appliances and other major fixtures and devices that we may have in and around the house, and it can be used by the inverter. To use the inverter, there are things that we need to know how to use it. The inverter, and I have one here. This is a 400-watt inverter. With the box, it would have told us how high it can peak. I'm not sure if this one can peak up to 800 watts. Now, inverters come in many different sizes. You have, I know I've seen 150. I know I've seen 150 watts. I know I've seen, well, this is a 400 watts. I've seen 800. I've seen 1,500, and I have seen 3,000. I know you have higher than that, but the more the more you go up in wattage, is the more expensive it gets. Now, as you see, even based on the 400 watts, it can't be used alone. You can't just, even though it has plug-in connections, it can't be used alone. So if you plug something in here right now, nothing will come from it. You'll not get any form of electricity from this. It needs something else to power this up. The reason why some persons choose the inverters other than using the generators, it's, I think some of us are used to generators that's powered by fuel. So we might use a diesel generator, and that would be, well, I would say a long time ago when persons would have placed that generator to the back of their houses, and it would make a lot of noise. We're moving away from that. I can't remember seeing one being sold. We're moving away from that, and we're moving towards inverters and solar generators. We'll speak about the solar generators another time. But in terms of the inverters, it's awfully quiet. And like I say, it's the way to go in order to eliminate or reduce our reliance on these persons. Now, because you have so many different sizes or wattages inverters, some persons would ask, then how will I know which one or which ones I would need? I'll tell you how you need to know. The first thing in anything that you're doing, you need to decide what you're going to use it for. So take for instance, you have a 150 watt inverter, and some of these 150 watt inverters, they come with a cigarette plug. You know it can plug in the car. It comes with a cigarette plug, so just plug it in the car and it get that power from the car so that we can plug anything in it at that point. This one that I have here, the 400 watt, it comes with some clips. Now, if you notice the clips on it, see the wires? And the wires are thick. It's not like the regular electric wires that you have running in your houses. The red and black wire, yes, it's red and black, but while it's red and black, these are thicker. I'm not sure if you can see them. Yes, they're actually thicker. Hi, Storm Chaser. So these are actually thicker. And the thickness of it is beneficial to what you are using it for. It gets these cord gets thicker as you get higher up in wattage for the inverters. All right, so it comes with its own cord, and please be careful with this one is already attached. When it comes to you or you buy your inverters, these does not come attached. It comes separately. So it's like this one. See? It's like this one. So it has a connection here that goes on to your inverters, and it comes with the same. This is not for that inverter. This is for a bigger inverter, and it comes with the same red and black color. They'll not give you any other color. Now, these colors have a significant meaning, please. They do have a significant meaning. The red at all times means positive, and the black at all times means negative. Please, this is something that those who are connecting inverters or connecting things that use the red and black, don't cross them. Don't put the red where the black's supposed to go, and don't put the black where the red's supposed to go. What will happen when you do that? You will hit the fuse in the inverter, and it possibly might just burn it up. Please, I'll repeat it later down when we're talking, but that's the reason why it comes with these two colors, and them never give you just one straight color to begin with. All right, now we realize that you might be a bit confused as to, yeah, you have the inverters. We don't know what, we know we want to get rid of or eliminate our reliance on the power company, but what size inverter I want? Because if I told you that there's a 100 watt, there's even a 3000 watt, a 1500 watt, you might be a bit confused as to which one you really need to get. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at what you might need to use to run that inverter. First, let me explain to you that every single appliance or device that you buy, if you look to the back of it there's a paper on it that is written, and it tells you how much amps or wattage that device will pull. Even your fridge, it's inside. If you look on the inside, on the majority of the times, it's either on the left or the right. It will tell you the amount of electricity that it can pull. So we now decide to buy it, but we have to tell what we're going to use it for. So we're going to use it for, anybody want to tell me something that you would use your inverter to run? Remember, you have your fridge, your microwave, your radio. What else? Probably you just want to use it for a short time. Probably your I've seen persons used it for their television, and if they have kids, they use it for the PlayStations, and they allow the children to power up the PlayStations and the television whenever they are playing their games. So there is not this reliance on the power company at that point. So we're going to think of things that we can use to power our inverters. So let's write them down. So we have the TV, right? And say our TV uses, sometimes they use max. So a TV will use probably say 50 to 200 watts of electricity. So let's put our TV as 200 watts, right? And what else we have? We have the blender. So we have the blender, and the blender can use between 850 to, I've seen 1200 or 1800 watts blender. So let's give our blender 1800 watts. And we have a microwave, and some microwaves start between 700 watts, and I've seen 1250 watts. So we have the microwave, and we're going to put that at 1250 watts. All right, so let's say we're going to run this alone. Now, if we're running them all together, we're running them same time on this inverter that we're going to buy. Let's check up the size of the inverter that we need. All right, so we're adding 200 to 1008, and then we're adding 1250. That's 3250 watts. I'll show you what I wrote. So this is it. So we have the TV, 200 watts. We have the blender, 1800 watts. We have the microwave, 1250 watts. And when we add them all together, we get 3250 watts. So we're now ready to search for an inverter? Not yet. The ideal thing to do when you know what it is that you're trying to pull from this inverter is to add them up, but then you have to add 20% to that to use as a buffer. So you can't go out and search for a 3250 watt inverter. We're going to add 20% to that. So let's do the math. So we have 3,250, and we're going to multiply that by 1.20, which we're adding back the 3,250 when we do that, and it's 3,900. So we multiply it by 1.20, and we get 3,900 watts. Let's do it another way. If we have the 3,250 and we're multiplying it by 20%, we get 650, and we would add that back to the 3,250, and we would come back to the same 3,900. So ideally, to run all those three things once the wattages are as stated, we would need a 3,900 watts inverter. I think we might can get a 4,000 watt inverter out there. A 4,000 watt would be ideal, because I don't think we're going to get a 3,900 watts inverter. So we go out and we buy the 4,000 watt inverter, and we know that it can run our television if it's 200 watts, or blender if it's 1,800, and our microwave if it's 1,250. So we can run all of that together and don't have to worry about the inverter that we have. Now, what would happen if we have an equipment? Say we have something now that we want to add on to that. So we want to add let's see what we could add. We have a refrigerator, and the refrigerator might be 780 watts. Remember, we bought a 4,000 watt inverter, and the plan was to run the TV, the blender, and the microwave. But we're thinking of now adding a refrigerator to that. We only have a 4,000 watt we only have a 4,000 watt inverter. What will happen? It won't be able to run it all together with all these things. It's going to be pulling too much from that inverter. So that inverter will be too small to manage that additional item that we are now trying to place on it. Okay, fine. We realize that it can't run it. So it's either we're going to go out there and get a bigger inverter, or we decide that we're not going to run these things on it anymore and just settle with the refrigerator. Get me? All right. Now that we decide, or we find out how best to decide the best inverter for us, then it's time for us to say, all right, what am I going to use to power this inverter? To my right, I have a battery here, and I'm going to demonstrate to you. But before I demonstrate to you, the inverter in no way, and let me repeat, the inverter in no way, it can't be plugged in any socket. Remember, it's we're trying to eliminate the power company or reduce our reliance on them. The only socket or anything that it has is the inverters itself. This one, strangely, it comes with a USB port. You can get some of them with USB port. I have bigger ones here that doesn't come with USB ports. It doesn't have it. Is there any question before I continue? You can just place it in the chat. I'll see it. It will come up. Now, the inverters itself, while it is compact, some of them can be real heavy. This one is sort of lightweight. It's easy to carry around. For some persons, they can just use this in their cars. So if you're probably running a fan, this can probably run it. What we had, it can probably run a TV, because like we said, this is a 400-watt inverter. I'm not sure if you're seeing it. It's a 400-watt inverter. So this can probably run a TV. You wouldn't place a lot of things on this. Majority of the inverters that I've seen, they come with two plugs, two plug outlet. Because in truth and in fact, we said that we were running the TV, the blender, and the microwave on it. You really don't use all of them together. So if you're using the microwave, yeah, you might be blending something, but you're not watching the TV, so you wouldn't need to plug it in. So this needs something to power it up, and it's not an electric powered. You can't plug this in. There's nothing here. See, it's clips on the end of this. There's nothing here to plug it in the socket. This is an eliminator or reducer for your reliance on the power company. I can't stress that enough. Like I said, to my right, I have a battery. I will run my hands around it for you to see that there's nothing. See, there's no wires connected to it. Now, this, from time to time, persons who know me will know that I'll ask for used car batteries. One of my reasons for asking for them is that even though it might not be capable of operating a car, then for me, I can use it for other things that I have in and around the house. So like I have a turtle pond, and for those who know, I have fountains. I have a fountain to the front and I have a fountain to the back. And the turtle pond and the two fountains are used car battery powered. They I have pumps going in them. I might have lights going in them. It is powered by the used car batteries. I have a whole setup going, but this is my main source of electricity for those pumps. Question: more appliance, bigger the inverter? Yes. Um, like I said, for this one, for this inverter that I was showing, it's a 400 watt. You honestly could not expect to run a watt. If you have a 1800-watt microwave or a 1800-watt blender on this is too small for a blender that is pulling 1800 watts. You understand, Storm Chaser? So you going out to buy an inverter, and because you can only afford a 400-watt, it would not be necessary, or it would not be wise to pick up your money and buy a 400-watt when you know you're coming home to pull something that has the requirement of 1850 watts. That to me, you should even do that. You're wasting your money there unless you want to run a fan, because some fans are 60 watts. I think, yeah, I think some fans are 60 watts. Or if you're running a fan like me, my fan is 15. So you can run many 15-watt fan from the inverter. All right, so we decide again, like I said, on the inverter that we need. So let's do some testing. For me, I have multiple inverters, I should tell you. You see the 400 watts? I have a I have one inverter that I have not used as yet. And that is 1500 watts. That's my biggest inverter that I have that I can use today, 1500 watts. For For the 1500 watts, I would love for it to run some big, heavy appliance or devices. I'm planning to set that one up one day on a system, but I don't want the system solar. I want the system to be, um, I want that system to be wind powered so that in case I don't have the sun, I know I'll always have the breeze. And probably you can't hear it now, but I constantly have breeze going on around there. All right. The inverter that was on the thumbnail was a 800 watt. And this is it. You see it, right? It was at 800 watts. And if you look to this side, it says it has 1600 watt peak. Let me explain something to you about that peak. I'm not sure if you heard sometimes some people say when they plug in certain things, their meter jump, right? The peak part of it allows for when you plug things in, it may demand, say say you have a blender, and the blender really tell you that it needs 850 watts. But when you plug it in and you press the first button, it might jump a little over that 850 watts. It might need probably a 900 watts. Because these inverters are created to have a peak capacity, it means if it should go over a little over what is required, it will not shut down or damage your equipment or damage even the inverter that we have here. All right. So now we're going to do some testing on this inverter, just like the 400 watts that I showed you. You see these connections here? You see they come in colors, red and black. Look on it now. If you notice where the red is, it says it has a plus. That's what we really call the positive. And where the black one is, it has a minus. That's a negative. I'm going to tell you again for the second time on this live, do not put the connection in the wrong place. Where you have the red one, you put the red wire there, and where you have the black one, you put the black one there. If you cross it, this will be done. Done. Not good. Done. Because I know you're not going to go in there to change any fuse. So it's done. Now, some persons have their inverters, sorry, for quite a while, and this part of it here might be broken for some strange reason. These colors come off, but you can use the plus and the minus sign on your batteries as well. It also comes with the plus and the minus sign. So for my battery, this is my plus, and it's, if you look on the batteries, it's engraved. And the reason why I think it is engraved, so that a blind man, if him even blind, hello Colin, if he's even blind, he can feel it, the plus, and he can feel the minus. Now we're going to connect. Remember I tell you, and you can't go wrong because the colors are there. So let's take up the inverter and we're going to connect. We're going to connect the wires. The wires are simple to connect. It's a screw-like feature. So I took off the red one and I'm going to put on this red wire. And I'm just going to scrape back on. It come with some, what do I call it now, like an eyelet, right? It comes with the eyelet. See, I touch the first one. See, the red is the plus, and I can't stress that enough, you know, because can I tell you, you know how much. Hi, Stoney. You know how much times people burn up their inverters. Hmm. So I'm stressing it and tell you, please don't do it. Look for the colors and don't try to borrow somebody else's inverter. Buy one that you can understand how to set it up. All right. Now I told you already that the wires come red and black in color, and with the red and black in color, this doesn't come in the color. It come with the it's engraved plus and negative. Remember, the black is a negative. So in order to connect these two to get whatever power that I need, let's turn it this way, because the plugs are this way, and it has a this one has an on and off switch, right? Now the strike down is on and the circle is off. Positive is red, negative black, and it's a bulldog clip operation. You hear my inverter? You hear it, don't it? I hear it too. Um, let's turn it off though. I also have a 1500 watts inverter. This is the one I was telling you about that I plan to set up on wind a windmill. Um, it's new in box. At the back of the box, you see these right in here. They tell you the sample appliances that you can use on the inverter. If you look on the sample appliances, and they always tell you, even though they give you the sample, one you burn up one, Colin. Well, probably this thing is for you. Remember, the black is a negative and the red is a positive, and it comes with the colors, because even the small one that I have here, it comes with the color. So if you follow the color, you can't go wrong. And these things, honestly, they are too expensive to be buying them over and over again. So just try and remember. All right, for this inverter that I have here, the 1500 watt, they tell you the sample appliances. However, it's not good at all times to rely on the sample appliances, the wattages that are given for the sample appliances. It's best if you look to see what your own appliance needs, what it is required to pull, what the amount of wattage that it needs to pull. Because you can look here and you see AM FM radio need between 50 to 200 watts, but then your own might only be pulling 40. So while this is a guide, and I would encourage you to use it sometimes, it's best you look on the back of your appliances or devices, or look to the side. If it's a fridge, inside. Because I think for this one, it says the refrigerator, it's 800 to 2400 watts. My refrigerator is 180 because it's an inverter refrigerator. I don't need I don't need all this for my refrigerator. My refrigerator might can run under 400 because I'm only pulling 180 watts. So while you can use it as a guide, make sure that you look on your appliances and devices to tell what it is required to pull, please. All right. So now that we set up our inverter, I'm not setting up this one. I'm not setting up the 1500. I have tested it, yes, to see if it works, and it did work. I've tested it. So my problem is not proving at this point if it does work. My problem is getting the right battery to run this so that my reliance on these power persons can be zero. And remember, I tell you, the inverter cannot be used in a socket. It does not require electricity from a socket. It requires electricity from a battery. Now, to charge a battery is a different issue. So to charge a battery, you may need probably a solar panel. I have my batteries that I use um, for the fountains and the pond, turtle pond. It is being charged currently from the panels. Well, like now we have night, it's not charged from the panel, but the battery is storing the power that is needed to run the pump straight through the night. So I don't have and remember I tell you it's used batteries. I don't buy new batteries for those things. And it run it through the night. Yeah, I might have one or two batteries that go bad after a while, but it's neither here nor there because they were used, and it's something that I got. I asked for them, so I get them and I use them. Um, so in terms of the 800 watt, let's test and see what we can use, what we can plug in. I have a light here that we set up. See, it's a LED. It don't require much. That we set up, and I think the noise that you hear from the inverter will be the only noise that you hear normally. And if you are to compare it with a fuel run generator, this is this is nothing. I don't know if you remember the generators. You will be in your house and shouting, and probably the next person beside you can't hear. But this, I can talk and you hear me. All right, you hear the sound? It's almost quiet. I'm going to plug it in, and you'll see a light there. See it? I shut it off, and there's no light. Let's try that again. It's already plugged in. So you see where the power coming from? Remember, I have nothing attached to the battery that I have here. No electrical wire not attached to my battery. And remember, this is a used car battery. All right. So at this point now, we prove that we can use this setup to run a light. So just imagine light gone, right? Light gone, probably for days. I don't buy kerosene. I can use a light. Good. Now, on top of that, I do. I come back to the light gun again. So I have my radio. I have my radio, and I need to listen to a little radio. Probably while my light plug in, my light will be plugging over this side, and I need to listen a little radio because the light gone. I don't want to put my TV on it. So I turn on my radio. My radio needs a station, but you hear the noise. So as far as we are concerned, it it can run the radio. And like I said, to the back or underneath here, let me see how much watts this asking for. It says 120 volt, 60 hertz, 5 watts. So I know it can run it because this is an 800 watts. And all my radio here require, because as you can see, it's a small radio. All my radio require is a 5 watts. The hardest part or the most important thing for you to remember is the setup here. Everything else is just plug in. So we see that it can run the light so far and the radio. Now, for those who know me, will know that I do DIY projects. So from time to time, it requires me drilling, it requires me hammering, it requires me cutting. What else it requires me doing? Whatever it is with my hands. Now, in terms of the drilling, I can drill and I can use this hand drill, right? So, take for instance, now I have something to drill. Because the other day, I bought some planters to go on the vertical planter that I built. And yeah, the vertical planter too required a drill. Because for the screw, I didn't use a screwdriver. I used a drill with the nut on it, with the bit on it, and that was what I used to drill in the screws. For the planters, the planter pots that I bought, they didn't come with holes. I had to make my own holes for them so that the water could drain out easily and I didn't lose my plants due to water rotting. So this part might be a bit noisy. So I plug in my drill. And hold on. I plug in my drill. You know, see me never turn it on. Hold on. I didn't put a bit in there. I'm not doing any work now. So I just want to show you that the used battery with the inverter is able to run my drill as well. Let's turn it off back. For the drill, let me see if it has the wattage on it. No, it has amp. You can convert amps to wattage. There's a formula for it, but we're not going to do that now. I also have a hammer drill that I bought recently. I would have to check the wattage. I know this can probably cover it, but I'm not sure if my battery, this battery that I have, can cover it. Let me tell you why. My battery here has cranking amps of 540 and it has cold cranking of 430. For those who have been hearing me on my channel, I was saying that I need some batteries to run my wind turbine. I don't want this low. The amp that I need, I need anything over 1,000. And I think it might be cold cranking amp. If I can get the cranking amp greater than that, I'd be happy. All right. So we charged that. I remember we tested that. So we tested the light, we tested the radio, and we tested the, what's it called again? The drill that I use on my DIY projects. No, this one I showed you earlier. I told you that it had USB port. This one doesn't. So if for some strange reason I don't have any form of electricity, then I can use my power bank, my solar power bank. You see the screen? This is a solar panel. I shouldn't say screen, no, this is a panel on it. And if for some strange reason I don't get sun and I might need to charge my power bank electronically, it can happen. It can do so. Um, I could charge it by using this 400-watt inverter, but if I don't have it plugged in, I can still use this one. And I'll show you. My inverter, my solar power bank comes with a cord, so I can charge it two ways. I can charge it by the sun and I can charge it electrically. So it comes with a connection. Plug it in the smaller side. See, it has two USB ports here, and this adapter also has a USB plug, and I use this one and plug it in. And for this, I can charge. See the lights? It goes down. After a while, it will just power itself off. Now, for the sometimes you have your equipment. So take for instance, you have your USB equipment. It can be probably in a laptop. It can be probably in a computer, or even this adapter. And I don't know if you know, sometimes you have persons who trying to charge a phone and you hear them say, oh, the charger not working. You have devices out there that you can test. You can use to test if your USB devices are working. Now, when we're charging our solar power bank, I rather to charge mine from the sun. If for any reason it may be required that I need to charge it via the electricity, for some strange reason, I don't know what reason it would be, but I tend to charge mine from the sun. As much as possible, I try to use up the sun. When I'm charging this via electricity, it doesn't have to be this because I don't have this set up every day. It's only probably under special circumstances when I might have this set up, right? So if I'm charging it electrically and I notice that my whatever it is that I plug in there is not charging, then I'm going to test it. Now this is a USB tester. It can only be powered up when it is plugged in. So if I plug it in my CPU right now, it will power up. And it should power up. I'm going to show you how the test is. See power up? Now this section down here, where you see the blue numbers, this is volts. Any USB port that you plug this device in to test if it is working, it should show 5 point something volt. So if you plug it in and it's not showing that, the USB is not working. The red section is the amp. So if I plug my phone here, it will read. Let me test and show you. I will get a reading right there if I plug my phone in. So it means that coming out, I'm pulling. I'm pulling amp. I'm pulling amps by my phone. See it? It has a number there. So I'm pulling 1.2. I'm pulling 1.2, and if you notice down the bottom, it is still saying 5 point something. So it means my USB on this device, it is working, and I'm pulling from it 1 point something amps. Please, we can do whatever it is that we can to eliminate or reduce our reliance on these persons. It doesn't have to be this type of setup. And for me, I think this type of setup would be good if we, as a backup, or sometimes if we lose electricity, because I notice that sometimes, especially in Jamaica, we tend to, when there's a storm or a pending storm, we tend to go out and we buy the same things over and over again. So we buy a flashlight, we buy batteries, we buy what else? Buy even kerosene oil, which for me it's not a good way to go in this day and age. With the amount of sun, we can store some of that electricity that we are building up. So get something to charge the little battery, charge a little battery. Use the sun, use a windmill, whatever it is you want to use. See if you don't have to. I have battery chargers, that can charge this, that is electrically pulling from the grid or the power persons. I do have it and I do use it. However, because I have a solar system going, I use it only in the days where I'm pulling from the sun and not from the grid. No, I can't stress enough, please, for those who feel it is necessary to buy a power inverter, make sure that you understand the connection, and it's relatively easy. Red goes to red, black goes to black, and you have red as positive, black as negative. Please don't burn them up like Colin said. He burned one already. Please. Colin, do you have any more? Did you replace the one that you burnt up? And if so, could you tell us what the wattage of the one that you burnt up was? It would be good to know, because these inverters, well, I'm not sure as to what the prices are, but I know for the 1,500 watt one that I got, the the cost was somewhere, I think it was 14 to 15,000 at the time. I'm not sure as to what the price is now, because I didn't buy it this year. Well, the year is still young. I didn't buy it this year. I bought it last year. Yeah, I bought it last year because I was expecting to get a good size battery last year. I didn't get it. So once again, I'm impressing upon you guys, please don't burn them up. Don't burn them up, and it's relatively easy to attach. I'm a female. And most men think women can't do certain things, and I'm the one who attached this. I'm the one who can run it. Yes, sometimes a little it might take me a little time to figure it out for certain things, but there are a lot of things that I figured out by myself being a female. I figured out how to turn my Turkapon all solar. I figured out myself how to turn an electrically um operated fountain, all by myself. How to turn it from electric to solar. I figured out a lot of things by myself. So don't take it for granted that because you're a female, you can't do it. You can do it. It's relatively easy once you put your mind to it. And like I said, a blind man, based on what they do with the batteries, let me feel this. I don't feel a positive or a negative on the inverters itself. I'm not feeling that engraved plus or minus, but a blind man can attach the inverter cord to the battery because it is engraved. You can feel it. You can feel the plus and you can feel the minus. Please don't damage anymore. And if you don't, hooray to you. Also, I'm imploring you, see how you can reduce your reliance on the power people. There are places out there, especially if you're living in Jamaica, that is offering solar systems. Well, I've seen a place advertise kits for as low as $350,000. And it depends on how much you use at home. You can probably get a system, save towards a system and get it. It will, in the long run, benefit you and reduce your reliance on the power company. Um, any questions as to what we went through? No questions? All right, fine. I can't implore on you enough. Please, if you used to burn them up like Colin burn up one, don't burn up anymore. It's easy to set up. You can't close your eyes because you're not blind. Unless you're blind, the only thing I said the blind man can do is attach to the battery because the battery have that embossed feel to it. And probably they need to put one on the inverter so the blind man can help himself. All right, it's now 6:58. We have 2 more minutes. So let's see if we can ask those questions. We have 4 persons on the live. Well, I'm seeing 4. I'm seeing 3 now. The another thing that is beneficial or it comes to mind would be a nice little generator. You can use probably the generator as a backup. This can be used for a backup system. If you're at home, it can be used for a backup system, or like I said, some persons use it to, if the kids playing PC games, use it with the TV. Most power inverters come with 2 plugs. So you can have 2 devices at once on it, or if it's something that you're going to set up, like a little, it's like how you have the power strips. Yeah, but remember, if it is built to house up to, in this case, 800 watts, don't put things that will come up to 1500 watts on it. It will burn it up or it will shut it down. As a matter of fact, it will shut it down. So when you are listening for the sound, the little funny sound like this, you're not going to hear it because it shut it down. All right, Storm Chaser has a question. Getting high, what inverter would be good? Yes, it would be good, but probably at the point when we're trying to get an inverter, probably we're trying to get an inverter just to run a light. We probably can't afford the high wattage ones. It will be a bit too much for us at the point. And remember, I tell you that the inverters are not especially cheap because the higher up you go in wattage, the more money it costs you. So if you probably get I probably bought my 1,500, like I tell you, last year, and it was, you're looking on something like 14 to $15,000 back then. I don't know what the cost is now. So you planning to get a 1,500 watt inverter, and you really only need a 500 or a 400 watt. It it doesn't make any sense unless you're planning to buy that big wattage one to run quite a number of equipment in the home, but you don't want to put them on. You don't want to get it attached all at once. You're doing it incrementally until you're comfortable leaving it like that. And remember, the inverter is pulling from somewhere. So you might have a one battery using it on, but the one battery, even though your inverter can manage your refrigerator, it can't manage, the battery can't manage that refrigerator because it's pulling too much from your batteries. So you may need to have more batteries that you set up, putting them together to pull that amount of energy that you need from it. Stony, you said, I have a 1,000 watt inverter I used as a backup before. Yes, you can use it as a backup. And that is what I back up every now and then. So, like for the batteries I have, my kitchen, my kitchen light, I have it on a vlog that I set up all battery powered. And it's like reflex. Going in the kitchen, that's the light you turn on. And it doesn't, if I didn't tell you that it's battery operated, and it's one of the used batteries, if I don't tell you that it's battery operated, you wouldn't know. You don't know. So the 1,000 watt is good. Can you tell me what you're running or what you have used on that 1,000 watt? It would be good to give them an idea. I know 15 the 1,500 watt that I have, I know it can comfortably run my TV. As a matter of fact, it can probably run almost everything in this room because it's a big enough size. I'm not planning to use a refrigerator on that 1,500 watt. The 1,500 watt will be too far away from where my refrigerator is, but in this media room here, I know I can run a lot of things on it. Um, I would encourage those who have it to, or those who are planning to buy it or get it, set it up, use some things on it every now and then. It will make sure that you're comfortable using it. And for me, the ones that my battery, the lights that my batteries are running on, I've had instances where when the power gone, I don't know because those lights are on, and the only way I know is if I go outside. So I might go outside and I say, "Oh, dear, it looks so dark," and that's when I realize, oh, the light gone. I don't know, and it's not my system. My system doesn't work at night because my system is grid tied, so it's not running at nights. I'm relying on the power persons at night, so I try to take myself off the grid as much as I possibly can at nights. You will get one soon. That's good, Storm. And remember, when you're getting one, you need to decide what you're going to use it for. Don't go out there and just buy one and say, yeah, this supposed to can run my refrigerator. This supposed to can run my radio or my TV. No, you need to first look on the appliance that you have or the device that you have. And I tell you already that the writing is on the back, or in terms of the refrigerator, it's on the inside. So get it, look at it, and then you can decide. Remember the buffer, we're looking at 20% buffer to see if it can comfortably run whatever you're planning to run. I use it to power lights, TV, CCTV, and laptops. That's good. You power all those things at once, or in terms of the lights, you probably have, when you have the light, you have the light on the TV on, or you have it constantly on the CCTV. Because why would you want to take it off your CCTV? And what do you use to charge it? Storm Chaser says, no problem, I'll check on it. Yes, please don't assume, please don't assume that whatever one you put your hand on, or whatever one your money can buy, it can run whatever you want it to run. Don't overload it. Don't. The CCTV, I know it doesn't pull a lot of electricity or a lot of wattage, so it can run it. Um, I would love to use one that I have, the 1500, to run some of those things to take off my reliance, because my CCTV runs 24 hours a day, 24 hours. So therefore my reliance on these, on the grid, is from once the sun goes down, it's running. So even when I'm sleeping, it's running. So if I can take my CCTV off, trust me, I'd be grateful. But it's just, my problem is I need the battery. I need the battery. I have everything else. I just need the battery. If I can get the battery that I require, I'd be, trust me, I'd be game. I wouldn't pay anything for that CCTV, because the windmill will be constantly charging the battery. So I wouldn't have a problem that I'm worried that the battery is going to go down. No, it will be charging. And one of the things that I know for sure is that when you are using batteries, the best way to use your battery is that it is, you get, you only use up 50% of your battery's capacity. So while you use 50, you expect for the it to recharge back whenever, whatever you use to charge it. But when you have your battery fully drained, then that's how the batteries, they don't last you a long time, if you should have your batteries using more than the 50%. And I think that's a problem with us in this country, because the batteries are so expensive. We have batteries being used where we drain it 100%. So it's best sometimes when you use the batteries. So say, take for instance, one battery will last you, say it lasts you 5 days, 5 days to be fully drained. And by in 2.5 days you reach a 50%. It means you probably, realistically, you probably would need two batteries to last you the 5 days, because you're really supposed to run your battery 50% and charge it back up again, 50%, charge it back up again. But when you have it draining the 100%, you're going to have an issue there. You're going to. Any questions? Um, in terms of where you can get the inverters, you can buy them online, or there are places out here in Jamaica that sells them. Um, in terms of the online, shop around. Don't just take it for granted that, oh, it's cheaper online. Shop around, because you might probably get it cheaper out here. Yes, I have my power inverter with jump starter, 2000 amp booster. That's good. That's good. And it's working for you. So persons, you see, persons have used it, tried it and used it, and it is working. The bills sometimes it's not easy. It honestly not easy. For me, I have a problem. I do have a problem paying bill. I hate to pay regular bill. So I think that is one of my reasons too why I try to reduce my reliance on these light persons, and also the fact that these bills fluctuate. It is not set. So if you're not careful, this month you pay $10,000. The next month it gone up 12, 15, and some things, while it goes up, some of them never come down. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful. See how best you can reduce your reliance on the people as much as you possibly can. And I have been trying. It has been working for me. So see if it can work for you. And it's rather easy to work for you if you find the right thing. If you do find the right thing. While light don't really use a lot, it doesn't, because probably I will have the light that I have plugged in, that was plugged in earlier on my inverter. I could probably have it on that used car battery for months before it start going down, because it, number one, it's a LED and it doesn't pull as much electricity. It doesn't. To charge my batteries, like I tell you, I have it on a vlog as well as to my charger. I have a charger that I use. I bought that charger, I think it was late last year. The one that I had before, the one that the one that I had before burnt up. It was sad. It was sad when it burnt up. Well, I felt sad when it burnt up. Um, I felt honestly sad and upset when it was burnt up. I was upset. I was upset when it got damaged, and it wasn't after I realized that I had this thing for 10 years before it burned up. The one that I have now, I have it here. It's a shoemaker. As a matter of fact, I think I'm fixated to the shoemaker brand. So probably if something should happen to this one, I'm going to buy back another one from that company as well. And it wasn't because I had the first one for 10 years. It's just a brand that I trust or I'm comfortable working with. So I use my charger in the days to charge my batteries. Um, this might be the only, no, I think this is the second battery that I have that is not set up on a, it's not set up on a solar panel. Everything else that I have is set up on a solar panel. So it's, when I'm out in the days, it's being charged. The battery setup that I have as well for the lights in the kitchen and the dining area, it is set up on a battery. However, that battery has to be charged. And sometimes that battery, once I charge it, it will last me say three, three, three or some months before it requires an next charge. So the used car batteries, it worked for me, but I need a little more than that to run the windmill. As a matter of fact, I can't even look used. I have to look new, and I need marine batteries. So this is the charger that I'm using. I've spoken about it on my vlog before, especially when I had to replace it. I've spoken about it. I have no problem with it. I can tell when the used batteries that I have are not good. There's an indicator here to tell me that, hey, your battery is not good. But like I said, I'm only using it for lights, so I can get a, even though it's not good, I can charge it nevertheless and still get quite a number of days out of it. So this is my charger that I use for the two batteries. And if I need to boost up the others around the for the pond and the fountain, then I'll use this charger as well. But like I said, I tend to use my charger in the days. I don't use my charger at nights because I am trying to cut out my reliance. How much for it? I think I paid probably about $40. I paid about $40 for that charger. Yeah, I paid about $40 for the charger online, and I carried it in. I am not sure if it is sold out here. Um, I have a weakness, especially with the internet. I tend to search the internet for my items first because I honestly don't have any luck getting certain things out there. And just imagine you being a female. Well, probably most men wouldn't understand, but as a female, they give me a warm time to get certain things. So I tend to move towards the internet side where nobody know that I'm a female. Can it charge in the car? No, this is an electric, but it can charge. It can charge the car battery. So if your alternator is not working enough to charge, if your alternator is not working enough to charge the battery, then this can charge your battery. Andrea Lindsay is asking to see the charger again. This is it. And it comes with, let me show you. It comes with an electrical plug. So you plug this side into the electrical outlet. And if you were watching earlier, I showed persons how to attach the red and black wire to the batteries. So I use these to charge my batteries. I'm going to repeat again. The battery has plus and negative. The plus is positive, and anywhere you see the plus is red. And anywhere you see the minus is the black one. Now, the difference between the charger here, or my charger here, and setting up the inverter wires come in color, in a color code. Yeah, the inverter wires come with a color code. This one, all the colored is the clips. So you attach the clips on the battery itself, plug it in, and it will charge. It comes with instructions, but this is what you can use to charge your battery. If not, then you can always set up something with your panel or a windmill to charge a battery by the sun or the wind, if you have that capability. Well done is asking, can you plug it into the inverter for it to be charged? It's going to pull. Let me see what it pulls. Yes, you can, because it says here that the while the input is 1.5 amp, the output is 2 amp DC. So it can be, but you're going to drain the battery. If you try to charge it, it's like how can you charge? Plug this in, what are you going to charge? The battery? It can't work like that. Because it's like you're draining the battery to charge a battery. It's not going to work like that. And it doesn't make any sense. You plug it in the inverter to charge another battery. You're going to drain one battery to charge the other. So that wouldn't be worthwhile. It can plug in there because it has a plug outlet, but it's best if you plug it in the electrical outlet to charge that battery. Understand? It's best if you do that. It doesn't make any sense. You have that rotating thing going where you're pulling from the you're pulling from a battery to charge another battery. It doesn't make any sense. So the best thing to do is to plug it in. I really went that option. I really went that option because, like I said, I know I have the panels that I use in the days for the house, so I could go that route in the day, being careful that I'm not using the light people in the day. But at night, I don't use it. I don't have anything charging in the night that I need that urgently. I try my best to place my reliance as much as I possibly can on the sun. There are times when I need to charge my phone in the night, I'm going to use my power bank. And if I drain this in the night, then in the morning, and my phone doesn't take long to charge, in the morning, I'm going to find some place to put it that the sun can charge it back. So I try my best to reduce my reliance on them. And some of these things, I know I've seen Storm Chaser call me Inspector Gadget before, but for me, I buy for me what is not only necessary, but what I can use and use often. If I know I'm not going to use it often, then I'm not going to get it. So, like, it's like me having a solar light that it needs a sun to charge, and I'm going to put that light in the house. I don't use solar light in the house. I've seen persons done it, but for me, it's not going to work for me. So I use something that I don't have that sort of stress. Um, Stony is asking, this is my simple setup. I have two 12-volt car batteries. One power the inverter while the other charges from the power to the inverter. One power the inverter, okay, and the other charges from the power to the inverter. Okay, okay, and that works for you. It powers all those things that you were telling me about, the lights, the TV, and the CCTV and the you said laptops. Well, I guess once you charge your laptops, then you'll be good. So you just use the laptop until you have to charge it again. Okay, fine, understood. So you see, guys, it works. It works. It will help you to reduce that reliance and save any which way possible that you can save, especially from not paying these people, then fine. What is the basic starting price for the solar panels? Um, it depends on what you're running again. So I have I have eight, yeah, I have 8 panels that's on a grid tied system that powers the entire house, especially in the days. It doesn't power the house at night. Grid tied meaning I don't use batteries for that. So in the days, whatever sun, as a matter of fact, sometimes even the glare, so the time lights up in the day, I'm getting power in through through those solar panels. So I'm getting that power in. So in the days, I get whatever power it is that is coming from that glare or the sun. And that's what I use to, probably if I'm washing, I'm using it. Um, those 8 panels, I was telling you that there's a company here that offers kits, not offers, they sell you kits. All you need to do is find somebody to install those kits, and I'm seeing the kits for as low as $350,000. When I purchased my system, it was at a rock bottom price. It was just, it was the same month that COVID get bad in Jamaica. The very same month. I think it was a March. It was that very same month, and it after even receiving it without a contract, because you need a contract for you to start making back money from these poor persons. So in order to make back money, you enter into a contract with these poor persons so that they're saying, if you should produce, say, I say you produce 10 watts for the month, but you only use 2, they will buy back the 8 from you. When I got my system, I tell you it was at rock bottom price. They even without a contract, I saw where my bill went down, and it went down drastically with that system that I have. Even though I had practiced some conserving methods, it still wasn't enough to move that bill as drastic as the solar panels did. I was encouraged by the place that I purchased the system from. I was encouraged to shift my task to the days. So um, prior to me getting the panels, I would probably wash at night. I no longer wash at night. I wash in the days. When I have this system, that will lower my reliance on the grid. Um, my only electricity usage that I pay for is at night. So like now I have a light on, I'll pay for that. My refrigerator shuts down, I'm not paying for that. I told you I have my CCTV running 24 hours. I'm paying for it once my solar panels stop sending electricity in here. So if I should look on the chart on my bill, I'm really only paying when you look on the chart, at some point my chart not moving during the day, because all that I'm using it from the panels. So you can get system as low as $350. As a matter of fact, they say kits where they give you everything that you need. You just need to get somebody to hook you up, to put it up. So once you get that, you're game, you're fine. So you're on your way to get rid of these people. And it's rather, while it's rather easy to get rid of them, sometimes getting a system in itself, I always tell persons that the first thing that you need to do is try and conserve first. Try it. It doesn't make any sense you get a system and you're wasting, no, not US, 350,000 Jamaican dollars, not US, 350,000 Jamaican dollars. That's what I see them advertising for. I wouldn't encourage persons to get a kit like that online. It wouldn't make any sense. It would cost you a lot, not with duties, because there's no duty on solar items, but it would cost you a lot in weight, because those panels can be, well, one person can lift up one, but it would cost you. The more panels you get, the more it will cost you. Um, I took in um I took in a windmill though, and my windmill cost me It cost me 100 and I think it was 110 US dollars. And my windmill is I think it's a 15, yeah, it's a 1500 watt windmill as well. And I took it in, it cost me 100 and about 110 US if I can remember. However, it cost me about how much? I think it cost me about $6,000 to $7,000 to carry it in because it was a bit heavy. So it cost that to take in when I had to clear it. I wasn't charged any duty on it, but I was charged GCT because, like I tell you, solar things doesn't attract duty. They are duty free. Um, I'm not sure. I think they may have sorted out the duty in terms of the battery because there was a point in time when they were saying that persons were carrying in the solar the batteries that they use on the solar system, and they were using it for other purposes, so they were charging them differently. They were charging them duty on it. And I think something has opened up where you no longer pay any duty on it. But I think it would be best if you're going the panel route, buy it out here at the $350 for the starter kits. I think that place that has the kits has they offer it based on your usage. And like I was saying, it doesn't make any sense. You get assisted if you have inefficiencies at home. So if you have, so take for instance, you have the TV constantly plugged in, you have your microwave constantly plugged in, all of these devices that you're not using and they are plugged in. However, it's pulling phantom electricity. You need to first clear up all of that. See how best you can conserve first before you get that system, because you will waste your money as well. Because you might be looking to get a system. Say your light bill, the power persons tell you that you use say 300 kilowatt of power every month. But then when you start plugging out, you realize that you really use 150. It means that 150 was being wasted. And if you go to these persons and tell them that this is your light bill and you're using 300, they are going to give you a system to cover that 300. So it's like you're covering those inefficiencies once again, as against if you were conserving by eliminating those phantom electricity and getting a system that is 150, that would give you that 150 for the month. There's a saving there because a system would give you the power for 300 watt and one that would give you one for 150 watt a month. The 151 would be cheaper. So that's a better route. Conserve first, and then you will realize how much electricity you actually require before you go solar. All right. Is there any more questions? I hope it was beneficial tonight. I did enjoy speaking with you. We'll try again for another Sunday to expand this energy saving or electricity saving thing a bit more to see how we can conserve. I have spoken of devices or gadgets, or well, gadgets according to Storm Chaser, that I have used to reduce my electricity reliance, because it's for me, it's not that I don't want to use it. Yes, I want to use it. There are some things that I can't not see myself using. So my CCTV has to be on, even though I'm not looking on it. Anything can happen. I need it. So I have to have that running. I like the fact that Stoney said that he has his on a system in itself, on an inverter. That is my plan one day, but I just need the batteries. I need the right batteries. I need something that can run my system for days or for the year without even have to be looking back to buy batteries again. So that's my way to go. So thanks again for joining the live, and please remember to hit that like button. I will ask question next week. Okay, fine, Storm Chaser. Um, thank you for joining the live. I did 1 hour and 30 minutes. It was an interesting conversation. So thanks again. Remember to hit that like button and join us again next week. Remember that we have weekly vlogs coming out on Saturdays, and from time to time I might drop in 1 or 2 shorts. So see you next week. Thanks.